Toward a Fragile Peace, Ukraine and Russia prepare for Istanbul talks. By Azlan Adnan M.A. In what could mark a historic moment in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, direct peace negotiations are set to resume in Istanbul on the 15th of May, 2025. This will be the first face-to-face meeting between the two nations since early 2022, when diplomatic efforts faltered amid escalating violence. The renewed initiative has drawn intense international scrutiny and cautious optimism. A turning point in the conflict? Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a statement on 10th of May, proposed resuming negotiations with Ukraine without preconditions. He expressed a willingness to discuss a ceasefire at the negotiating table, but firmly rejected any ceasefire agreement prior to talks. Putin reiterated his claim that Ukraine had derailed earlier progress by walking away from peace talks in 2022. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky responded by affirming his readiness to meet Putin in Istanbul, on the condition that Russia agrees to a full ceasefire by 12th of May. There is no point in prolonging the killings, Zelensky declared, and I will be waiting for Putin in Turkey on Thursday, personally. This mutual willingness to engage despite differing expectations has reignited international interest in the possibility of a negotiated settlement to the war that has displaced millions and claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. Divided international response reactions from global leaders have highlighted a rift in approaches to the renewed talks. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Ukraine to accept Russia's invitation for talks without insisting on a ceasefire beforehand. "You don't lose anything by talking," Trump said at a press briefing in Washington. He framed negotiations as an essential step toward clarifying whether peace is achievable. In contrast, key European leaders have taken a more cautious stance. French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz insist that any negotiations must be preceded by a verifiable ceasefire. They argue that without a halt in hostilities, the talks risk becoming another stalling tactic by Moscow. Both leaders have also warned that Russia could face expanded sanctions should it fail to honor peace efforts. Turkey's role as mediator. Turkey, which hosted earlier rounds of talks in 2022, has once again offered itself as a neutral venue. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan confirmed on the 11th of May that Turkey is fully prepared to host the summit. He described the planned talks as a historic opportunity to silence the guns and reaffirmed Ankara's commitment to fostering a peaceful resolution. Istanbul's Dolmabahce Palace, already a familiar backdrop for previous negotiations, is being readied to accommodate both delegations. As a NATO member with strong historical ties to both Russia and Ukraine, Turkey remains uniquely positioned to facilitate dialogue. The road ahead. While the announcement of renewed talks has sparked hope, seasoned observers remain wary. The core issues, territorial sovereignty, the future of Crimea and the Donbass, reparations, and NATO expansion, remain deeply contentious. Both sides also face domestic pressures, Ukraine to uphold its territorial integrity and popular mandate, and Russia to claim some form of strategic victory. Nevertheless, the fact that both leaders are publicly committing to dialogue after years of bloodshed is a tentative step toward a broader political solution. Whether these talks in Istanbul will lead to a sustainable peace or simply mark another missed opportunity depends heavily on what transpires in the coming days, especially whether a ceasefire is in place by Zelensky's 12th of May deadline. Conclusion. As the world turns its attention to Istanbul, the stakes could not be higher. A breakthrough could usher in the beginning of the end to one of Europe's most devastating wars in recent history. But without trust, compromise, and a genuine willingness to halt the violence, the summit risks joining a long list of failed peace efforts. For now, the diplomatic door is ajar, held open by equal measures of necessity and fatigue. The question is whether either side, or the world around them, is ready to walk through it. A heartfelt light. To every soul whose hand did give, you've helped me dream, helped me live. In darkest hours your light came through, with hearts so kind, so pure, so true. Your gifts, like stars in deepest night, have steered me gently toward the light. Each coin, each word, each silent prayer, a thread of hope, so rich, so rare. My eyes once dimmed now seek the skies, and slowly, clearer visions rise. Because of you, I dare to see the world again. Its grace, its plea. Your compassion's flame will not just stay with me alone. It lights the way for others wandering through despair to feel the warmth of selfless care. You've shown what love in action means, in quiet ways through giving scenes. You've built a bridge from soul to soul and made the broken feel more whole. So let this thanks rise like a song, a melody both soft and strong. May your example gently call more hearts to rise to give. To fall into the joy of lifting pain, of planting hope where none remains. Your kindness walks beside me still, a light, a love, a living will.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show your support.